So this week, as I'm turning 30 years old, I thought today, while I was down the supermarket, I'd treat myself to a little birthday present, buy myself something really good. And I splashed big on this rather exquisite and luxurious hat. Now I won't lie, it wasn't the stylish design or the 100 yen price tag that led me to buy this hat. It was the little bit of aspirational English text written on the front of the hat, which simply reads, "Are you excited? Let's adventure. Special every day." And I read that and I thought, yeah, I am excited. Let's adventure, special every day. Just saying it out loud makes me feel incredibly motivated, and coincidentally, it's a great way to kick off a conversation on Tinder, albeit with questionable results. But I find the hat goes very well with my new shirt, which of course just says has high functionality. Together, it's quite the combination, isn't it? If there wasn't a global pandemic right now, I'd be out on the streets of Tokyo taking the world by storm. But there is, so that won't be happening. The hat wasn't the only thing I bought down the supermarket though. I also bought some lunch, this baguette, or as it's known in my store, nice stick. I suppose they've got a point. Who can't honestly say they love the taste of nice stick? Japan has an exciting relationship with the English language on many levels, particularly when it comes to marketing. Because even though English proficiency is pretty rare here, the English language is surprisingly common. I mean, I was pretty shocked when I first moved here and found myself surrounded by my native language. And coming as an English teacher, I thought, oh good, maybe I won't need to work so hard because people here are immersed in it every single day. That was until I took a closer look and realised it is English, just not quite as we know it. Wait a minute, that's not Indiana Jones, that's Jindiana Jones. A smoking room? What is that? Baked sand? I can't eat that. Rib finger? Moist with me? I'll do no such thing. I quickly learned, despite the staggering amount of English here in everyday life, nobody actually reads it. And the perfect example of this is when I was a teacher, I had a really grumpy student who hated me, who hated everything I stood for. He used to lean on his desk next to a pile of unopened textbooks, giving me the look of death. And all the while, upon his desk, next to the unopened textbooks, there was a big metallic pencil case. Written across it, in big bold English words, was the phrase, "Boy, we're happy in every respect." Happy in every respect. It was brilliant because he definitely wasn't. To be honest, I could never work out if he simply didn't understand the meaning of the English on his pencil case, or if he was secretly a master of irony, No, it was the first one. It was definitely the first one. In the months that followed, I would learn that there's actually a phrase for this in Japan. Kazarieigo, literally decoration English. Because English in Japan is most commonly used as a form of cheap decoration to add prestige or value to a product. And because so few people here understand it, the companies that plaster English all over their products and items rarely bother to check that it makes any sense. Like, how many times has a boy come up to you and said, "Boy, we're happy in every respect. Now let's go and have some baked sand and some red fingers and watch Jindiana Jones together." I don't know about you, but I've never had that conversation, and I don't particularly want to. As somebody who studied linguistics for 3 years, it's quite interesting to approach this from an academic perspective, how Japanese thinking is reflected through this non-native speaker English and the rhetoric and the phrases. But as a sarcastic British expat, it's even better because there's funny words. Roast spare libs. To be honest, I don't want to focus on low-hanging fruit though, on simple spelling mistakes like roast spare libs. I want to focus on those big Japanese English marketing slogans that look like real English at first until you peer closer and realise something is fundamentally wrong. Prepare for rain. Raindrop is a drop of water with the size of more than 0.5 millimeters in diameter and comes down from the sky. Who knew rain could sound so genuinely terrifying? First off though, it's important to point out that in the same way Japan uses English on premium goods such as this, we're just as guilty in the West as well. For example, Superdry has absolutely no association with Japan. It's a British clothing company, but that nonsensical assortment of Japanese kanji characters is enough to make a Japanese person's head crash.
What fun!
And then of course there are the folks that get Japanese kanji characters as tattoos without doing any real homework. They just pick it out of a book and unsurprisingly it goes spectacularly wrong. Right mate, check this out, right? Got a new Japanese tattoo. Yeah? Oh right, fantastic, let's have a look. It says honour and courage eternal. Yeah? Honour and courage eternal. Things that I believe in, innit? Yes, it doesn't actually say that though. It says uma ni akogareru, which literally translates as I long for horses. What? Famously last year, Ariana Grande was guilty of this when she got a tattoo for 7 Rings, her new album, unaware that those 2 characters in Japanese are read as shichirin, literally a small charcoal grill. Although as someone with a love of barbecue, nothing seemed off to me. In fact, I'm still working out what I want as my first Japanese tattoo, and small charcoal grill, well, it could be just the ticket. But for me, the essence of what makes Japanese English marketing so great is it actually sounds almost correct, but there's just something fundamentally wrong, something off that makes it a little bit confusing. For example, there is a beef restaurant in Sendai, while we're on the subject of barbecue, that I tend to walk past quite often, and it often catches my attention because it's got this big red, desperate looking sign out the front, written entirely in English, and it simply says, "This is the extremity of luxury, to bite into chunky meat, how juicy and tasty. It's beyond the description." The extremity of luxury. It's a miracle that I've never gone in. But that line at the end, it's beyond the description. I love the way they wrote that, despite using 3 whole sentences to describe the very sensation of biting into chunky meat. But it's a classic example. It makes perfect sense. It's just awkward and confusing and a little bit scary, to be honest. For example, if your waiter walked over to you and said, "Who wants to bite into this chunky meat?" Yes, I think it's time to leave now. Still, at least the restaurant made an effort to promote their food in a positive way. It could have been a whole lot worse. Like another restaurant that I did walk into and instantly regretted it when I flipped open the menu to reveal a dish alarmingly branded as soy sauce reckoning of the cream cheese. Soy sauce reckoning of the cream cheese. How did that go so wrong? It sounds less like an appetising dish and more like some kind of torture, like waterboarding, but with soy sauce and cream cheese thrown in. It's quite common for words like that to put me off food in general. Like the other day I was at the supermarket and I saw some rather delicious looking cookies and I went out to reach them, to buy them, and then my eye caught the little description of them in English on the side of the box, which said, "It's a cookie baked in brown." Baked in what? A cookie baked in brown, by using enough fruits that fully bathe in the blessing of the sun. Too delicious for you. Yes, that's right, not 1 delicious, but 2 delicious for you. So mouth-watering with the cookies baked in brown. What does that even mean? I've had cookies baked in an oven, I've had cookies out of a microwave, but I've never had a cookie baked in brown. Have you? I hope not. For some reason, I've noticed Japanese marketing loves to exaggerate where the fruit has come from, like turn fruit into some sort of magical thing. For example, here we've got fruit that's been bathed in the blessings of the sun, which to be honest does sound quite good. Would you like some cherries? No. Not really. Would you like cherries baked in the blessings of the sun? You bet I fucking would. In a previous video, I uncovered a box of orange flavoured cookies, and that time they weren't simply referred to as oranges, they were branded as delicious presents from the sky, as if God had stuffed half a dozen oranges into a sack and thrown it through the gates of heaven, down to the peasants below. Some of the marketing might not go down so well in the West for other reasons. Take this cutting board, for instance. Cheap, convenient, and full of assumptions. It is a space-saving, multifunctional cutting board that a housewife thought about. Definitely, it's exactly what a housewife thought about. Get back in the kitchen with your multifunctional, space-saving cutting board and make me my dinner. Housewife. It's ridiculous. But if you really want to go down the rabbit hole of crazy Japanese English marketing, look no further than everyday household items. Because in Japanese marketing, companies like to emphasise how the product will make you feel when you use it. Combine that ethos with decoration English, and it's a recipe for disaster and excellence. For example, here's a range of products that I've bought, and I'd like to take you on a journey through a hypothetical day where you'd use each one of these bizarrely branded products. You start the day by waking up and climbing into the shower to use your favourite brand of shampoo. And you don't even need to use the shampoo to know what it feels like because they've described the entire sensation on the front of the packaging. Washing my hair. Just a custom that colours my life. Wrapped in fragrance, just a small scent that lit a spark. Falling in love with it. Before knowing, someone started caressing my hair. Before knowing, someone started caressing my hair. See, up until that line, it was going pretty well, wasn't it? Before it started to conjure up images of Bill Cosby. But of course, after having your shower, I don't know about you, I like to put some cream on my face to get rid of those spots, keep my pores clean, especially after all those long nights out eating chunky meat and red fingers. And as a guy, I like to choose Vegaboy. Vegaboy. Cool, cute, sexy, macho, all of those and more. Whatever you want to be, boys have to look smart. The cream which gives a smart impression for a business boy. I don't know about you, but I do like to give the smart impression for a business boy. That is why I choose Veggie Boy. Exclusively Veggie Boy. Preparing to go to work, you start to pack your bag with all the things you need to have a successful day. In my case, a motivational notebook with a little quote on the front to fire me up and get me inspired. It says, "You alone can change your life. No one else can." Fucking yeah. Have a really fun day. Meow, 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 meow. Brilliant, that's my motivational cat notebook. And of course, you'll never quite know when you'll need a stapler, so I like to take my stapler. This was a confusing purchase, admittedly. I mean, it's not every day you buy a stapler called Stick Kyle. At first, I thought this might be a pen, but luckily there is a little bit of text under Stick Kyle that says, "Is this a pen? No, this is a stapler." Oh, thank God, that cleared up any ambiguity surrounding the stapler. Sometimes I wish all products would solve their ambiguously crap packaging with such useful marketing. Is it a teaspoon? No, it's Veggie Boy. Think of all the time you'd save down the supermarket. So I've got my bag packed and ready to go, but actually the bag itself comes littered with inspirational English quotes. Let's see what invaluable insights we can find. For a good life, you need good stuff. Brilliant, I'd never have thought of that myself. Words of wisdom to stick on your wall. I am happy and enchanted, as if I were in a dream and enchanted with beautiful flowers in front of me. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? It sounds like the last sentence you'd hear before someone stuffed an axe through your skull. What kind of dream are you having? A nightmare. But I've saved the best till last. I don't know about you, but when I give presents to family and friends, I like to put them in a gift bag littered with insanity. With quotes so bizarre and so obscene, they overshadow the very gift held within. As I read these quotes out, remember, somebody in a room actually dreamt these up at some point. So what do we got? For beautiful hair, let a child run his fingers through it. What? Who felt that was an appropriate thing to stick on a gift bag? A time of celebration. Next. For a slim figure, share your food with the hungry. Definitely, it's the only way to a slim figure. Sounds like a quote from a disapproving grandmother whose reckless comments led their grandchild to have an eating disorder. Never throw out anybody. A burglar? As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands. What is that? Life hacks from Pornhub? People, even modern things, have to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and redeemed. Redeemed. I think that last line confirms what I suspected all along, that the English on this bag are the dying words of a broken robot who just wanted to be loved, or someone who's completely off their rockers. So there you have it. We've been on quite the odyssey today through Japanese English marketing, through the mysteries of English. But what was your favourite quote? And would you watch Jindiana Jones? Let me know in the comments below. I still don't know what Jindiana Jones is. It was a magazine I found. I wish I bought that magazine in hindsight. Biggest regret of 2020 so far. And the next time you come to Japan, keep an eye out, because you never know what gems you might find as you open a restaurant menu, devour some chunky meat, or eat a cookie baked in brown. That's all for now though, guys. As always, many thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm off to celebrate what's left of my 30th birthday by eating this delicious nice stick. And if you want to make my 30th birthday complete, why not subscribe to the Abroad in Japan channel? Statistically, apparently, half of all regular viewers aren't subscribed. They just type Abroad in Japan into the search box every time. There's an easier way, my friends. And, oh God. Oh, smells absolutely disgusting. Nice stick, more like crap stick. All that build up for nothing. Screw this. I'm off to get some baked sand.